But anyway, so if you haven't already, I encourage you to go ahead and mute yourself. If you'd like to turn off your camera for this part, you absolutely can. And we'll dive into this just a little bit. So because courage is a part of facing our fears, there's actually a few more steps. And what I want to share with you before we start working with our bodies is that courageous action is actually led by our hearts. And while courage is actually more important than confidence, what actually comes first is commitment. And we commit to ourselves, we commit to what it is that we are looking to face. And once we've committed, then the courage comes. And once we are feeling the courage, then we have a new capability, a new skill. And then from that skill, we come into confidence. And that's actually called psychological demand. And those are the 4 C's: the commitment, the courage, the capability, and the confidence. So I just kind of wanted to give you that before we drop into our bodies, because we're going to activate our commitment, our divine will, our divine strength, and then take that courageous and confident action. So from there, take a moment and just close your eyes. And just notice your body. It might feel a little anxious. It might feel settled. It might be all over the place because you've been just arriving after doing many things this morning already. But just breathe and allow yourself to kind of come into that present moment in your body, connecting with it. And then I'd like you to take your hands and kind of put them at the back of your neck, at the top of your back. And you can look at me if you need to see where my hands are, but then go ahead and close your eyes again once you have your hands on your neck. And just notice what this does to your system by having your hands there. Mine are a little cooler than the rest of my body, so it actually really starts to slow down my body a little bit. I notice that it cools the cerebral spinal fluid, which actually cools the rest of the body down and kind of slows down my nervous system. And then keeping one hand there in a comfortable way, you can relax your elbow down and just kind of let it sit there if that's comfortable for you. Then the other hand is going to go on your solar plexus. And if you don't know where your solar plexus is, it's right where your ribs, right below where your ribs meet. So your ribs come together and create kind of a triangle, and it's right in that space below the triangle. So if it's comfortable for you to have one hand on the back of your neck, top of your back of the back, and one hand on the solar plexus with your eyes closed, do so, please. And we're just going to take a couple of nice slow breaths here, not really focusing on the breath, just allowing yourself to drop into this feeling and position. And now imagine a soft yellow light coming from the space just under the rib cage, that solar plexus area. And allow it to surround you, however that needs to do. It might be a big bubble, it might be more of a blanket, but it's coming from that space under your ribs and wrapping you in safety. And if at any point during this it's too much to keep your hand up on your neck, you can move it down and layer it on top of the one that's on your solar plexus, or you can just drop it down into your lap, whichever's most comfortable for you. And now we're going to do what's called VU breathing. And again, it's not so much about the breath, but it is about the sound. And we're going to do about 4 sets. And the way you do VU breathing is on the exhale, you say in a low voice as best as you can, because I know some of us have higher voices. VU. And it needs to be out loud. So I understand, Carrie, you're at work, so you may have to just kind of visualize this for yourself at the moment, and that's fine. But if you're able to, you're going to inhale in and exhale. And you may not be able to do it as long as I do. That's fine. This is at your own pace. We're going to do 3 more. Last one. And just sit in that. And notice the difference in your body from when you started. Notice if there's been any shifts, any slowing, maybe a little bit more space in your thought process, maybe even a change if there was discomfort in your body that maybe it has reduced or isn't there anymore. And I want you to turn your attention back to the solar plexus. And again, if you need to, you can put both hands on it. And if you can, say out loud, I commit to my own courage, which inspires me to take confident action. We'll do this a couple more times. I commit to my own courage, which inspires me to take confident action. One more time. I commit to my own courage, which inspires me to take confident action. And I'm going to have you keep one hand on your solar plexus and one hand on your heart. And just imagine a connection internally between these 2 places, between the heart and the solar plexus. And see if you can notice any movement between the 2. I'm noticing that it's actually opening the back of my heart as well, even though I have the hand on the front of the heart. So just see what you notice as well. And then just give yourself a moment of gratitude for showing up today for yourself. Maybe that's a little extra squeeze with your hands before you let go. Maybe it's some other way. But then allow yourself to gently flutter your eyes open, slowly coming back to the group. When you're ready, you can turn your camera back on and bring yourself back with us. Wonderful. So feel free to take a moment, write down anything that you might need to from your experience there.
I have a request, Pamela. Can you give the 4 C's again?
Absolutely. How about while you take a moment and write, I'll put that in the chat for everyone.
Thank you.
Of course.